we are celebrating the Hillulah of Imenu, one of our four mothers. You know, we always, Rabotai, give praise, we give respect to the forefathers of Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, but a lot of time we forget completely the fact that we have Arbat Imot, or the matriarchs, the four mothers that were actually the core and the backbone of all the forefathers of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. You know, Rabotai, it said in the Zohar Kadosh that actually whenever we are in time of need, in a time of tzara, in a time of prayer, whenever we need to awaken merit, we don't go to the forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. We actually go to the mothers, to Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. Why is that? Because Zohar Kadosh says that at time of need, the forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, act with judgment. Where they ask, are my kids in the path of Torah and mitzvot or not? Where it said even about the sentence that's written in the Torah, B'zchut nashim tzadkaniot yigalu Yisrael mitzrayim. Where we mention that in the merit of nashim tzadkaniot, women which were tzadikot, in their merit, Bnei Yisrael were taken out of Egypt. Why is that? Because Zohar Kadosh says that at a time when Bnei Yisrael needed to awaken merit, the forefathers said, are Bnei Yisrael tzadikim? In the moment that Bnei Yisrael were not officially tzadikim, what happened in that moment? The forefathers didn't stand for them, and only the mothers got up and put their merit in order to bring Bnei Yisrael out of Egypt. So we see Abotai really in time of need, the mothers are the ones that get up and stand and really give the merit that is needed. And we know Abotai that something amazing, that today, what it also is today, is Sefirah of Hod. What is Hod? Hod is Hodaya. What is Hodaya? Being thankful, having gratitude. How can we connect that, both of them, to the merit of our matriarchs and the concept of being thankful? So yesterday, Rabotai, we spoke about the concept of everything that happens for a reason. That there is nothing that just happens without it being a plan of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Every small detail that occurs in our life, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu playing a bigger picture and acting in a way that we're not able to really put the puzzles together until it already happens. So now, there's a beautiful Zohar that asks a question. Zohar Kadosh says, why is it that we see in this Parasha, Sarah Imenu, such a tzadikah, the way she was, had to go all what she went through? Where she was taken, she was as a prisoner in Egypt, went down to the jail. The whole night she sat, she cried, and the Zohar Kadosh says scary things of what happened in that night. What was the purpose of this punishment that Sarah had to go through? For what reason? So the Zohar Kadosh answers something amazing. The Zohar Kadosh says that before Sarah went down to Egypt, she received a nevuah. That in this nevuah, what was this nevuah? This nevuah was her receiving a prophecy that in future generations, a grandson of hers will come down to Egypt and he will not have merit in order to survive this heavy land of impurity. So what did she do? She took upon herself to go down to Egypt and to be pulled down to the jail in order to bring merit to her grandson. Zohar Kadosh says the entire night when Sarah was in the jail, in the cell of Egypt, she was sitting and she was crying. Those tears that fell down to the ground, Zohar Kadosh says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu did a miracle where those tears were kept moist, were kept wet. And those wet tears stayed for hundreds of years until one of her grandsons was to come, Yosef HaTzadik, and be thrown into that same cell. And the Zohar Kadosh says, in the merit of those tears that he stood, he had the koach, he had the strength in order to survive all those heavy, hard years of Egypt. So we see Abotai, first of all, the concept of how at a time of need, we have to get up and we have to connect to our mothers. Now, Abotai always, it's like a father and a mother of a child. Whenever the son does something wrong, or is not acting 100% in the right way, who is tough on him? The father. And the mother always finds a way to forgive, always finds a way to find her son to be a zakai, to be in the right. That Abotai is in the situation we are now today. It is the Hillulah of one of our mothers, that not just any mother like Sarah, Rivka, or Leah, It is Rachel. And Rachel Rabotai, we see something unique in her, that she chose to be buried where? Not in Ma'at Machpelah, but where? By Derech, on the roads. To teach us, Rabotai, that look, Rachel is not like all the other foremothers of the matriarchs that are in the cave. She's on the path for anyone that walks by to come, to connect, to pray, and to bring down merit. To connect that to the Sephirah of today, it is hard. The concept of being thankful. Why being thankful? We can learn from the story of Sarah. Because in life, Rabotai, even the things that can seem to be a punishment, can seem to be a pinch, like what Sarah did when she was dragged down to the cell, it was really a part of something big. So even when we have a little bit of hardships in our life, what we have to do? We have to be thankful. We have to thank Hashem for the good, but the same way that we believe that the good comes from Hashem, we also have to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that even the pinches or even the hard thing are a part of something big that we need to continue in order for Hashem to get to the end. So may HaKadosh Baruch Hu give us all big bracha and tzlacha, b'siyata d'shmaya. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, hear all our prayers in the merit of Rachel Imenu. May we all, Hashem, gather in the Hillulah and gather together in the building of Yerushalayim.